and welcome to a gardening video. So in this video I thought I'd show you all the gardening and seeding that I have been doing, you know, for spring gardening and the fact that the weather's getting better. But the most important thing is I was in two minds whether to even do any gardening and seeding this year. I know that I was a beginner a couple of years ago. I actually did a bit more last year, felt a lot more confident. But this year we have building work starting in literally a few weeks time, hopefully. So we basically won't have access potentially to the garden area. So what I decided to do is to garden and seed anyway, like I would have, but maybe not as much as what I would have last year. And something that I could basically pot or repot, or rather seed, within portable plant pots and, you know, those vegetable bags, because I've got like a few of these vegetable bags where my tomatoes were growing. I've got a couple more which were for like carrots and potatoes and that kind of stuff. But essentially what I'm trying to say is I'm going to show you first what I've been doing around the garden and what planting I've done. I've done a really good job, if I do say so myself. But also I will meet you back here and then show you guys around, like give you a tour of what I've got so far and what I've done. I have so much to say and explain in this video, and I will basically take my time to talk to you through what I'm doing. So firstly, I'm moving my strawberry plants, which I've been putting into the greenhouse during the winter so that they don't die, and actually it worked out really well. I got those portable greenhouses. I say like a multiple, but actually I've only got the one up at the moment, during last Christmas, so not the one that's just gone, but the one before. So it did a really good job of protecting all of my strawberry plants, all of the babies as well, which survived the winter. So basically I was moving them into another spot because the extension's going to be starting and the building works are going to be undergoing, so I moved them to a safer position. Then you'll see me putting together some seeds and planning of my seeds. So what did I want to do? And basically I also checked the expiration date, so that's something really important. I've found that sometimes you can buy a bunch of seeds, but a lot of the packets might say this year, so I sort of had to use them up. So that is exactly what I was doing. I was just checking that. And here you'll see that I've been saving up loo rolls, and the whole family's been helping me, saving up some loo rolls to basically put some soil into and germinate those seeds. So I thought that this plate or this platter will be really good for these things, but then I found that it wasn't actually holding them in place, so I do change it up later. And I do label these as well. I found that actually by cutting the bottom of the bits and then folding them in together to make a little envelope, it helps create a base so that the soil doesn't go through as well. So I ended up choosing a couple of different varieties of tomatoes, and that is what I ended up seeding here, and I'm super excited for that. So once they get quite big, so I say big, so for seedlings I'd say an inch or two, I will then repot them into my I don't even know what they're called, like compost bags or that soil bags that you will see later on, which are portable. So I was talking about making sure that it's portable. I can move them around if I need to, and you'll see me basically, I'll give you a quick view of those during my garden tour towards the end of the video. So here basically I did as much as possible, and I do apologize for something flying around. So either it's a fly or a strap of some sort. I'm not sure where it's from. Probably the tripod actually, now that I think about it. so hopefully it doesn't annoy you too much. And as you can see, I do have a supervisor that always watches what I do and gets involved whatever I'm doing around the house or in the garden, and that of course is my dog CJ. So basically I go back inside and I end up putting into the soil some seeds in an organized fashion. I just use my finger to prod them into some holes and lightly cover them up with some soil by moving it around a little bit. Then you will see me watering each bit by bit, and during the tour towards the end of the video you'll see where I put this box, which is basically a windowsill is a perfect spot. Even though I picked quite a sunny windowsill, I have been trying to keep it watered as much as possible, and I'm monitoring how it's doing. I did buy a pack of 3 of these spray bottles, and then my dad-in-law made me these stickers to say water on them and other things as well. So basically you could totally DIY it. And I very much recommend it. I'll make sure to link that down below because these spray bottles are so useful, especially to keep the soil moist but not too wet, especially when they're seeds and quite fragile. So the other reason I didn't actually want to seed anything outside, and not just because of the extension, but actually because last year I had a really bad case of slugs and infestation of them basically eating all of my seedlings, and any vegetation that was growing, they would be on it like there's no tomorrow. So basically to prevent that, I'm going to make sure that they're actually big and sturdy enough to withtake some slugs basically. But I am monitoring the slugs in the garden as well. I don't know whether you saw last year, but I ended up putting slugs and snails into a bucket and then letting them loose in the woods when I go and walk my dog. So I know that's a little bit weird, but if you do have any other recommendations of how I can dispose of these slimy creatures, then please do let me know and make sure to comment to do so. Amazing. So here I can't quite remember, but I'm pretty sure I put some herbs in these pots, and then I decided to just make sure and repot some flowers that I have around. And also I wanted to get rid of my spider plant and repot it into the same plant pot, but the baby ones that it's made. The main reason for that was because it sort of doubled in size and it was actually outgrowing the plant pot, which wasn't looking good. And because spider plants are so easy to grow and they're so basically lack of maintenance, I guess they're low maintenance, that's what I was looking for, and that it's a great way to have them around the house and have some basically fresh air and plants around the house, but without basically needing to look after it too much. So they are great, but I just wanted some new fresh ones and see how that goes. And I can easily move these plant pots around in the house. It doesn't have to be in the kitchen or the windowsills, and basically they are a great plant who are not very high maintenance. So here you will see the funniest thing in the world, probably the fact that I thought this pumpkin with this cactus on top was a real plant, and then you'll see me popping it out and I'm like, I was so confused for a long time and I couldn't quite believe it, but it's actually fake, all fake. So I ended up putting that into a Halloween tote box so that I can take that out again when the season asks for it, basically around October time. So let's talk about my husband's banana plant. So this is a fruitless banana plant that he got for his birthday from his dad, and we've been looking after it really well during the winter. We've kept it indoors until we knew that we can repot it in the spring and summertime. So here we are finally repotting this plant, and because my husband absolutely loved this plant at his dad's. He kept commenting on how nice it is. He got it as a gift, but the fact that the original plant that his dad has, it's humongous. It grows so well. I can't wait to see it become enormous as well within a couple of years. So I'm super excited for that too. But the other thing is we'll have to maintain it and look after it during the winter months. So here I decided to use this planter finally. There was some soil in there already at one point from last year. I just freshened it up with some acidic soil because I planted a raspberry bush in there. So a good thing to know is make sure that you don't plant your raspberries within any garden just straight in. Make sure that it's in a planter or in a space where they can't actually root out, because they are very easily, or what is it, it's like mint, they can really easily just overtake any garden. So basically watch out for that. So here we are, I'm doing a voiceover for the tour because I hope you don't mind, but it's really windy out there. And as you can see actually behind it, my greenhouse that I mentioned earlier actually toppled over, and my husband actually needs to pick that up and uproot it from the ground. There's like things holding it in place. But anyway, these are my seedlings on the windowsill. This is my small spider plant on the windowsill as well. And here we are zooming in on my casualty. And then I've got some herbs here that I've basically put together. Either it's coriander or it's dill, I can't quite remember, but we'll see when we get there. I've got some more spider plants on the side there, and you would have seen like a smidgen of my ugly kitchen that is very much going in the next month or two. And here's the culprit as to why the greenhouse has toppled over. I think it rusted basically in that particular section. And these are the soil bags that I'm going to be using mostly for my tomatoes, and I want to use one for radishes as well. So this is what the garden looks like. I'm making the most out of the weather and putting some washing out, and then I've made a corner of my strawberries. I do also have an extra raspberry plant in the black planter at the back, some flowers for pollinators and bees, and then basically lots and lots and lots of strawberries. As you can see, I've zoomed into my raspberry plant. I thought it was dead, but actually it came back to life, and I'm super excited. So on the whole, I'm very happy with just a few hours in the garden. My dog absolutely loves it too, as you can see, and this is a snapshot of the before. And I thought I will pop outside and show you what I have. So the plan for this is to add as many more rocks as I can this summer, and this is where I'm going to leave you. I hope that you enjoyed it. So I hope you don't mind the fact that it wasn't a voiceover. Like, it's so blustery outside that I don't think you would have been able to hear me at all without that mic muffler, which I don't know where it's gone. But yeah, basically that's where we are at, and I can't wait to share my journey with you of all the building works and the extension and everything that happens in this house, which is super exciting but also a little bit scary because obviously it's an upheaval. We're not going to be able to use 2 of our rooms, let alone the kitchen, you know, the sink and everything else. But yeah, basically I'm going to show you our temporary kitchen as well. So if you want to see all of that and the whole journey of building an extension in a suburban, you know, semi-detached house, then make sure to click that subscribe button. So finally, I hope that this gives you some inspiration and motivation to do some gardening, even if you've got like a balcony rather than a garden. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.